Unusual circumstances surrounding a deadly car accident has a local family questioning the law.
The last 60 days since we were given the non-criminal charging have been the worst 60 days of my life.
A drunk driver ends a life, but he's not faced with criminal charges. Corinne Zell hears from both sides.
This case is involved. There are a lot of confusing facts. Everyone we spoke with agrees. This is a tragic situation all around.
They're just going to give a simple slap on the wrist, first time OWI.
What do you think he should be charged with?
Negligent criminal homicide by a motor vehicle.
Just before midnight on a dark road in Door County last year, a drunk driver killed 56-year-old David Marsek.
David and I shared a log cabin in Raleigh's Bay, and if I had gone up there that weekend, maybe things would have ended up different.
Richard Marsek and his brother David grew up in West Allis, 14 years apart.
My brother was a quirky, loving, generous person.
The day David was killed, he had been drinking at a festival. According to reports, someone saw David get in a car, so they got a deputy.
I never actually saw him driving drunk in my life, but he would go sit in his car and just sleep.
That deputy briefly talked to David.
The police officer essentially told David to do the right thing.
So David started walking.
I don't know if he anticipated him walking home 5 miles at that point.
Just before the crash, a witness says he drove by as David walked along the side of the road.
There was a first car that swerved around him and said that David was walking normally. And then the second car hit David.
According to deputies, the driver of that second car thought he saw a deer lying in the road. When he realized it was a person, it was too late. He drove over David and went down the road to a friend's house before calling 911.
It's reckless driving, if nothing else. It's, in my opinion, leaving the scene of an accident. It's hit and run.
The driver admitted to speeding. His blood alcohol level was 0.12. He was arrested for his first OWI.
He's charged almost like a sober person other than a ticket.
So in Wisconsin, operating while intoxicated as a first offense is a non-criminal traffic violation.
Door County District Attorney Colleen Nordine didn't charge the driver with homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle.
I would not be able to meet my burden of proof and prove that this accident was caused because he was intoxicated and that it wouldn't have happened had he not been intoxicated. And the fact that we have a pedestrian lying in the middle of the roadway in the dark, parallel, feet facing the vehicle that was oncoming, it creates a situation where it's very difficult to identify or recognize as the driver what that object is in the road.
Is there anything in between that you could have charged?
And we looked at everything.
The district attorney says her decision wasn't easy.
There's no excuse for drunk driving. I did not like having to make that decision, but I did have to make the decision that I felt was appropriate under the circumstances.
We reached out to the driver for comment. His attorney sent us a statement that says in part, ultimately, the firm believes that the resolution reached was appropriate under all of the circumstances, including the interests of the deceased grieving family. David's family has a different perspective.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
David's family says they're not giving up. They are in the process of exploring other legal options. Corinne Zell, today's TMJ4.